Hey, hey. So, it's a Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. No beer, so I'm drinking coffee. If you've been following the page, you'll have noted that I've been making a GWR Mk1 third class wagon. It's done. This image here shows how big it is. It's about 46 something inches long, and it takes a good long time to mill, a good long time. I think I spent most of the week after work this week milling, and it's done, and it's here, and it's huge. A couple of things to note. First of all, I have been doing some research. One second. Gluing plastic. This was flamed and then roughed up a little bit. It's got GWR, which is 2-part epoxy on it. Bomb-proof. This is flamed and then roughed up a little bit. And it's Lepage. Basically contact glue, bomb-proof, which is kind of nice. And this one is GWR flamed and not sanded, which is 2-part epoxy, and it's solid as you like. So if you rough up the plastic and then glue it and then clamp it, it actually works quite well. So there's a couple of things to note on this. One, I've not cut out the windows. When you get one of these, cut the windows out before you start assembling it. It will save you a lot of time. I have cut out one section of windows here. And I'll talk through the design process and the things that go with it. Couple of things to note. I'm using number 4 1/2-inch screws. When you're actually building this, I suggest using number 2. I've tried number 1s, number 1s don't work. I have a number 2 or number 3 1/2-inch screws, and you might want a couple of 3/4-inch number 2 or number 3s as well. So we'll go through. GWR Mk1 third class. It's going to be hard. I haven't got the ends on, but I'll show you the ends. It's actually this big and it's bomb-proof. I was actually worried. Yeah, and don't circular saw first thing in the morning because my base is off, which is why you're cutting your own bases. I was actually a little bit worried when I was building this. What I've done is I've made a piece that screws in from the outside or the inside, whichever you want, to actually brace the joints over the windows. You know, you saw I had a whole bunch of trouble getting the windows to line up. You could figure out something else to do this, but this actually works really well. It doesn't actually intrude upon the window holes. I've made it so small end goes up top, bottom goes down, and it's done, and it's nice, and the screws fit. You see the screws are quite big because these are number 4s. I don't have any number 3s or number 2s, so I'm using what I had in the basement. So just for note, number 2 or number 3 screws. All of the arches are actually through. They're pre-drilled on the sides, so you can actually go through and screw into the middle brace. What I'm adding in the kit is extra little arch pieces, which are these ones here that go on either side. If you're going to do it, drill them, glue them, clamp them, and then screw them together to get a much tighter fit, because these are a little bit loose. You'll find when you're drilling HDPE that it puts a little bit of, same as wood, it puts a little bit of a kind of bit at the back. What you want to do is you want to drill it, sand it off flat, because it gives you a little bit of a dimple, and then when you glue it, they all glue up really nicely. So what you get in the kit, obviously you get 2 sides, which are 2-piece. This is a sheet of plastic for one side, so that's 2 sheets of HDPE. We'll do some math here. Then you get 4 arches plus the extra pieces for bracing. Now the reason why I've done this, and this is purely so you can put a roof on it and gives you a bit more gap. Otherwise you're trying to put a roof on and get into a 1/4-inch piece of plastic, which is going to be a pain in the ass. So I've made it bigger, so now you've got 3/4 of an inch in 3 separate places. Also, at the ends, I haven't put these in, you get an extra couple of pieces that just go in. God, I should start making smaller kits, this is huge. They actually go in, and sit down, flush, glue them, screw them, and it gives you a bigger end piece to actually put your roof to as well. The other thing that's really nice in this, what I find, is I've actually done 2 extra arch pieces that are actually pre-drilled here. What these are for is when you're doing the middle bracing section, you can actually build this. There's one here and there's one that goes on the other side. They're actually made so you can actually screw them together to make a nice solid joint if you need it. And I was worried, it's the reason why I did it. And to be honest, you don't actually need them. They'll be included anyway, but you don't need them. But you can actually screw through and actually make a square box with 2 arches, which gives you a little bit of extra support in the middle. Although this doesn't come with bases. The base, if you want it, is extra. You can cut your own wood, like 1/4 inch wood or 1/2 inch wood, because it will just save on shipping. And if you do want a base that's HDPE, I'm just going to send you 2 sheets of HDPE so you can actually do it yourself. What you also get included in the kit, there's not actually everything. You actually end up getting the side rails, if they get them, which are really long, which go together. So you've got the side frame pieces. You get 2 of those. You also get the end beams to go on the end underneath that join to this. So you actually end up with a nice subframe, and you have to excuse the clamping. And you also get, let me go find the other one. You also get this, which you saw when I did it out of wood, which is the corridor ends. They actually look like this. Whoops. If you excuse the clamps for a second, actually this is probably dry. It says 30 minutes. It's had 30 minutes. You actually end up getting 2 of these, which are the end corridor pieces. What I do with these is I pre-drill them, sand them off. So in this case, everything's put together with one of my 90-degree clamps. I drill through in 3 different places to keep it flat, sand it off all the way around, glue it, clamp it together, and you can see it's a nice tight fit with the glue, and then it'll get screwed together for extra strength. And these obviously go, look, this thing's so bomb-proof, I can just pick it up by the thing. These actually go right on the end like that, so you've got your corridor pieces as well. Prices, ooh. I've tried to keep the price down as much as humanly possible. Sorry. This is how I put my pieces together. I've got 90-degree clamps. Price. I did some math this morning. This thing is 275 British pounds. That's 475 Canadian or 360 US dollars. If you want a base, which is 2 sheets of HDPE, it's an extra 30 quid, extra $50 Canadian, or an extra $42 American. So yeah, that's it. It's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears, a lot of test cutting. Obviously you guys don't pay for the R&D, but I think it took me about 12 cuts to get these doors in the middle and the join to be correct. Yeah, I guess have fun. It's big, it's quite heavy, it's solid as you like. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with the way it came out. So that's car number 4 that we're offering. So we've got the mineral wagons, the GWR Toad, the LMS guards van, and now a GWR. Let's do it this side because it's better. Done it a bit. Haven't screwed that bit in. Then you have a GWR Mk1. Look, it looks quite cool. The windows cut out. third class. Now, I am tinkering with a number of ideas. Actually, I was going to finish, but I was tinkering with a number of ideas. I'll just lean on it here because that's how big they are. I could make the sides out of wood. The problem is you get tear out and the price doesn't drop, because if I show you this one, which is the original wooden prototype, you'll see that occasionally you get these tear outs on plywood, and that's the reason why I'm not using plywood, is because the inconsistency of the gluing, where they've sandwiched it together, doesn't allow for a consistent cut and a consistent finish. So what happens is, if you do want this out of wood, I will do it. The problem is the price isn't going to drop, and if there's problems with the milling, then the price will just go up for however much more material I'm going to use to try and get the wood to come out great. And then when you cut it out, you'd have to be super careful, and I don't want to offer wood. I can offer this with the inside pieces being wood, because they come out okay, and you can, so the arches and the end pieces could be wood. It doesn't drop the price because I generally use Russian plywood, which is bloody expensive. It's actually more expensive than HDPE. Again, it's a tricky material to work with. You have to flame it to be able to paint it. You have to flame it and sand it to be able to glue it. But once you do get it, and you do get it glued, it's absolutely bomb-proof. So yeah, happy Sunday. I guess it's good to welcome the latest addition to the 3.5-inch family. GWR Mk1, third class coaches. I want like 10 of these for behind my train. It's going to take. You need to buy them so I can build some for myself, because I still haven't built any of these kits for myself. I keep selling them. And thank you to Paul. I think his name's Stribling. Or yeah, thank you to Paul Stribling. He ordered one this morning, so I have to finish this video and get to work and go cut him a kit and get it in the post to England. Have a great weekend. Hope the weather's good. And I'll see you again soon. Peace.